Hey everyone, it's Beth, and today we're going to be doing a few bow tutorials. I've had a few people ask me how to make certain ones, so I'm just going to show you how I make them. We're going to do a messy bow. We're going to do like a little bow tie type bow, and then a bigger bow. So I'm using jute string and zip ties for different ones. I'm not the greatest at doing these, but this is how I make them, and I think they look okay. The messy bow, I take 3 different kinds, and I just cut them out about the same length, 2 strips of each one. Once I have them all cut out, I take the one that's going in the back, place that down in like an X, and then place the next ribbon the same way right over that, and continue that with each of those. You can do more than the 3. You can put some raffia in front of those if you'd like. Just put that right in the front. I take the jute string, lie it over the top, and I pinch the center of that and flip it over and just tie the jute string really tight. And I wrap it around once and then come back to the back and just tie a double knot and cut off the excess string. And you can take another piece of one of those ribbons and just wrap that around the center and tie it in the back, or hot glue it in the back for the center of the bow. I tend to put buttons and things on top of mine, so I don't usually do that, but sometimes I do put just one of the same ribbons in the center just to cover that string. And then I just trim up the edges of each of the ribbons and spread it out and just make sure that each side is the same length. And once all the edges are cut of the ribbon, I open it all up and just spread it all out so you can see each of the different kinds of ribbon on either side. And that's it for that one on the messy bow. Next, I'm making a bow tie type bow. This ribbon is a little bit wider, so I ended up folding it in half. You can use the smaller width ribbon. So what I did was folded it in half, and then I fold an end over, kind of making it so it gets into 3 folds. So fold it in half, and then fold it over onto itself, and then fold it again, so it'll look like this. And then I do the same thing, just make it a little bit longer. Fold it in half, and then fold a piece over, so you fold it twice. And then I cut off the excess. And then I put the smaller one on top of the longer one. So just like that. It's just a little bit smaller. And then I'm putting a tail on it. So I just cut off a piece of ribbon, fold it in half, twist it a little bit, place it in the back behind the larger set of ribbon, take the jute string, put that on the center, flip it over, and tie it and pull it as tight as you can to get the center of it pinched in. Once I did my second knot on there, it loosened it up, so I went around again and then just tightened it again so it's pinched in the center of that ribbon. And same on this one. If you don't want to see the string, just take another piece of that same ribbon and wrap it around the center, hot glue it, or tie it. And then I took the tail and just fishtailed the ends. And then just opened up the ribbons on either side so it's a little bit thicker. So this one looks like that. Next, we're going to make a larger bow. So I'm taking 3 different types of ribbon, This first one, I measured it 8 inches and then folded it over. And I ended up folding it 4 times. So just fold it over onto itself 4 times and then cut off that excess. And do the same thing with the next two. I just used my first ribbon to measure out that one. So measured 8 inches and then folded and then just wrapped it around again until I did that 4 times. Again, cutting off the excess when I'm done. And then I did the same thing to the third one. And once you have all 3 folded and cut, place them all on top of each other. Decide which one you want in the front, because that one you'll see the most of. And then I find the center and just cut a little bit on either side of that center. Take a zip tie, place it on the top, and then I turned it over and pulled the zip tie as tight as I could, and then cut off the excess zip tie. And then I take each of the ribbons, and so once it's folded, it was folded 4 times, so you'll have 2 loops in each of the ribbons. So you just pull out the extra one and just fluff those all out until the bow is nice and open. So depending on the type of project you want, you can leave it like this, or you can add a tail to it. I'm going to show you how I add the tail to this one as well. So just make sure it's nice and open. All the ribbons are pulled out and opened up. And once that's all opened up, I decide what pattern ribbon I want for the tail, and I just cut a long strip. I didn't measure, I just cut a long piece because you can trim up the ends, which I did first. I ended up fishtailing each of those. And then got about the center of that and just pinched it and took my zip tie, put it on the back part of the bow. Just make sure if the ribbon has design only on one side that you put it facing forward, which I didn't do and had to flip it over. So then take the zip tie and wrap it around and then connect them all together and pull the zip tie nice and tight in the back, and then cut off the excess. And that's it for that one. And once I had put the tail on there, I had kind of smushed down all the ribbons, so I just reopened them all up, making sure it was nice and full. And here's what they all look like all completed. I'm not the greatest at it, but I hope it helps someone. And thank you guys so much for watching, and please spread it around.